12th of March, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
All right, so once again, it's Sunday morning. We have to figure out where we got up to in Bava Kama, because it was not marked off.
I have it Kuf Vav Amid Aleph 106A1.
Right?
I think we did Rav Ifla.
No more Ilfa, yeah, right.
Ilfa, yes. I was talking about the swamp. I think we may be at Eboyas Ema.
Eboy Sema. Okay. Okay, very good. Eboy Sema. Okay, so. Oh, here's Phil. Phil is coming in. What's with Alan? Alan might be having trouble.
Oh, maybe I should send him a link.
Yeah, I would imagine. Welcome, Phil.
Okay, how you doing?
Glad you got to the right place.
Well, before it said host wasn't there, so that's why I tried the other one.
Yeah, they were right. I just, ordinarily click on my, it says start your meeting, and I didn't check to see the right meeting ID was my wife's. So I was in my wife's meeting for the last 5 minutes. Then I realized, well, there's nobody here. So that's not a good sign. So I checked into it, and sure enough, it was the wrong meeting. Okay, Baruch Hashem.
Okay, I sent the link to Alan.
Okay, so let's begin over here from the Ebois Ema on Kuf Vav Amid Aleph. And yeah, this should be and how far is it down over here?
It's 106A1, a left-hand column. 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth paragraph.
Okay, so Roy, would you like to read, please?
Voice Ema, or if you prefer, say May Shabbat Kona. What does Ilfa mean when he says an oath acquires? He does not refer to liability for unavoidable mishaps, but to another issue. B'direi Huna, in accordance with the dictum of Rav Huna. Omar Rav Huna, Omar Rav, but Rav Huna said in the name of Rav, Mone le b'yodecha. If one says to his fellow, a manner of mine is in your possession, v'hala ha'ema ein lecha b'necha b'yadi. All right. And the other replies, you do not have anything in my possession. The Nashba, and he swears to that effect. The Baru Adim, and afterwards witnesses came for Adim, and afterwards witnesses came and attest to his guilt. Potter, he is exempt from payment. Shanima, for it is stated, Shenema, for it is stated, Velokach, Ve'olov, Velo, Yeshalem, and its owner shall accept it, and he shall not pay. Given Shekabalu, Alim, Shebu'ah, Shuv, Ain, Meshalem, Maman. This teaches that once the owner has received an oath, the custodian no longer pays money. Ilfa 2 means that the defendant acquires full ownership through his oath and is exempt from ever paying. Regarding the issue of liability of unavoidable mishaps, however, he may concur with Rav Sheshes that a custodian acquires the deposit from the time that he denies it, even without swearing falsely about it. That's all the Rav Scott has to say.
Okay, well. Any Rashi over here? Maybe Rashi will clarify it for us a little bit. What exactly they're saying over here? Ibois Ema, yeah. There's an Ibois Ema. It begins with the last word in the fourth top wide line in Rashi.
The Ibo saying, let us say, a shur that a shur does acquire. The Kama Ilfa, that Ilfa would say, Legamre, totally, almost says, the two that furthermore lo mishalem kid Rav Chuna, that he should not pay according to Rav Chuna.
Okay, I think that in order to understand what this Iboy Sema is all about, we're going to have to go back to what Ilfa said. Because I don't know about you, but what we said so far is totally incomprehensible.
I agree.
So let's go back and try to understand what Ilfa was talking about. Okay, first of all, before we go to Ilfa, we have to go back to what Ilfa is talking about. Ilfa is talking about what Reb Sheshes said. Now, what was it that Reb Sheshes said? Reb Sheshes said way back on 105b, towards the bottom of the page over there, he said, Kofer b'bikadon is a nasal of Gazlan and is chai b'onsin. Somebody who denies a pikadon, even without swearing falsely, but he falsely denies the possession of the pikadon, he becomes, he gets a din of a Gazlan to be chayav for onsin. Okay, so Ilfa took issue with that statement of Reb Sheshes, and Ilfa said, "Mamar Ilfa shavua koine." Shvua hidakanya. With the shvua, only with the shvua, he acquires the chayfetz to be responsible, like a Gazlan is, who steals the chayfetz, to be responsible for anything that happens to it, and have to pay the owner. See, so you see, it doesn't really mean that he acquires the item, because if he acquires it and something happens to it, he doesn't have to pay anybody for it. So it's a bit confusing, but what it means is that he acquires the item that is now put in his under his responsibility, since he made this false shvua, and therefore at that point he's going to be liable for it on that basis. If even if an onus happens to it that he wasn't at fault. But the implication that Ilfa said was about kfira lo kanya, simply to deny the possession of the deposited item without swearing. In the absence of swearing, he wouldn't acquire the object to be chayiv like a gazlan in onsin. That's the implication that Ilfa is drawing, and therefore he concludes hachanami the kaima ba'agam. Oh no. Sorry. That's the question right now. That's the question. Okay. So that was Ilfa's question. The Gemara answered the question. Gemara answered the kasha and said, no, the animal is in the swamp. Now, how is that actually an answer to the question at all? If the animal is in the swamp, which
because if the animal is not in his possession, then denying alone is not effective. Whereas if the animal was in his possession, denying alone would be effective.
Effective in doing what?
Acquiring that obligation you just explained.
Oh, it'll be kona.
Right.
Um,
If it's in his possession, then denying alone would be kona. But if it's not in his possession, hachanami gekaima ba'agam, Gemora answers here too. It's to a case where it's not in his possession.
Okay.
So it's considered if he doesn't swear, he just denies, then it's considered that he's delaying. He's gonna go get it from the swamp and bring it. So he's denying so that he can rectify the situation.
Okay. So in other words, Ilfa's talk. The Gemara is saying that what Ilfa is talking about. Oh, here comes Alan. Alan is waiting. The Gemara is saying that Hachanami here also in the statement of Ilfa, when Ilfa drew a line between swearing and not swearing, so that only swearing will acquire the object to be chayav for onsin, and in the absence of swearing, even if he denies it, he will not be made a gazlan. The Gemara says, yeah, over there too, by Ilfa, the only reason that he's not made into a gazlan simply by denying the item, denying possession of the item, is because we're talking about a case where the animal is in the swamp. Okay, fine. Okay. That's Ilfa, and now the Gemara goes on to the Ibois Ema. My shvua koina, what? So now the Gemara is saying another explanation of Ula, not Ilfa, rather Ilfa. When Ilfa said that only a shvua is kona, and a false denial would not be kona, That's the implication. That's only his statement was with the state with Rav Huna in mind. His kavana was with Rav Huna in mind. And what does Rav Huna say? Rav Huna says, in the name of Rav, Manali biyadcha, v'halo omer ein lecha biyadi. So A, tinus to B, you have something that belongs to me in your possession, and B says, no, I don't. Ein lecha biyadi, I don't have anything. And then he's in Benishba, and he swears to his claim that he doesn't have anything that belongs to A. The v'chakach bo edim, and then edim come, and they testify that in fact the item is in the hand of the in the possession of, it's in his backyard. It's in his backyard. It's not in the swamp. It's in the backyard. That's what we have to say over here, I believe. And nevertheless, he's going to be putter. The person is going to be the person that was watching the item that denied having possession of the deposited item is going to be exempt. What is he going to be exempt upon?
From payment, according to my English.
But if the item if the animal belongs to the owner, why doesn't he not have to give it back? Oh, it's not a case of a mana. I mean, it's not a case of an animal, it's a case of a mana. Mana means a certain amount of guilt. Okay. I'm just trying to get my picture back over here. Okay, fine. Yeah, so in other words, a tainid, mana li biyadcha. You have my mana in your possession. Okay, mana is a certain amount of money. And he says, no, I don't have any mana by you. I don't have any money that belongs to you. And then he swears to it that he didn't deposit it by him. And then the witnesses come and say, yes, they know that he did deposit it by him. And it seems like we're saying that even if right, it's in his possession. It's not in the swamp. Nevertheless, he's putter. Okay, so it needs to be understood. Why is it that he's putter over here? And the Gemora explains he's putter because of this pasuk. Shenemar, we have a pasuk. Shvus Hashem tiyeh ben shnehem, im lo shalach yadu b'melechas re'ehu, lo kach ba'alav, lo yishalem. Its owner took it and he doesn't pay. What does it mean, lokach ba'alav? Kevan shekiblu habaylim shvua. What was it that the Bailim took over here? The Gemara is saying, since the Bailim took, they received a shvua from the shomer. So therefore, the pasuk says below yishalem. Therefore, he doesn't pay. Shuv ein mishalem mammon. He doesn't pay mammon. Now, what does it mean that he doesn't pay Moman? Rashi there should be a Rashi over here. It's a bit missing over here from the Gemora. What's the explanation over here exactly?
I have a footnote.
Okay, let's take a look. What do the footnotes say over here? We don't know what exactly he's putter on. If he has the money in his possession, obviously he has to give it back. Maybe he doesn't have it in his possession. I don't know. So then what did the witnesses testify to? They testified. It's not clear. It's not clear. Let's see what the note says.
The verse teaches that once the plaintiff has exacted an oath from the defendant, his claim against him is dissolved, so that the defendant is exempt even if two witnesses subsequently testify against him. This applies whenever a defendant has taken an oath that was biblically required of him in court. Thus, whether he is a custodian who claims that a deposit was lost through an unavoidable mishap, thus incurring Shavua HaShomrim, the custodian's oath, or a borrower who concedes partial liability, thus incurring the Shavuas Modeh B'Miktsas, the oath of the partial admission, or one who was contradicted by a single witness, thus incurring the Shavuas Eid Echad, the oath against a single witness. If he takes the oath and is subsequently apprehended, he is exempt from paying.
Don't understand it.
I can go on. There's more. Rav understands the Torah as decreeing that once a matter has been settled in court through the decree of corroboration provided by a biblical oath, it may no longer be reopened, even if the plaintiff subsequently produces evidence that seems superior, i.e., witnesses who support him. See the Chazon Ish. Although the testimony of two witnesses is considered the highest form of evidence, this does not mean that whatever two witnesses say is absolutely true, since witnesses may, after all, be lying. Rather, the Torah commands us to ordinarily rely upon their testimony and judge accordingly. See Rambam, Hilchos Yesodei HaTorah, and Hilchos Sanhedrin. In the case where a dispute was settled on the basis of a biblical oath, however, Rav understands the Torah as commanding that the matter not be reopened, even if there are witnesses.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, I'm not sure what not sure what's going on over here. And the fact that there's no Rashi would lead me to believe that the Gemora is going to go into this. And in fact, that's the next step is the Gemara says we're going to go into this whole statement of Rav Huna Marav, because it says Gufa Amar Rav Huna Marav. It could be that our assessment of this Ibois Aim is a bit premature, and that's why Rashi didn't comment on it yet.
Yeah, in fact, according to my footnote, there is a Rashi on the next section. The one you just referred to.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe. Okay. So. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what this e-boy name is saying. Let's try to let's go further for a moment and see if things become clear. Hopefully they'll become clear. So we're going to go to Gufa, Amar Rav Huna Marav. In other words, what's not clear over here? Let's clarify what's not clear. That's something that one can do. You have to always have very clear what's not clear. What's not clear is that Ilfa's statement of Shvua Kona amounted to a kasha on Reb Sheshes. The implication was that Ilfa is saying that the only way that the shomer can acquire the item in order to be chayiv as a gazlan is if he makes a false shvua. But if he simply denies it, that's not going to be enough to make him chayiv for an onus. So that would be a kasha on Reb Sheshes, because Reb Sheshes says that it's enough already to be a kofar pikadon, even without the shvua. He's already going to be a chayiv ba'onsin as a gazlan. Yes, on that the Gemara answered the answer that it answered already more than once time before. No, the animal's in the agam. Fine. Now the ibois ema, what's exactly the objective of this ibois ema? That's what's not clear. The ibois ema says that what did Ilfa mean when he said that a shvua is kona? Maybe what the Gemara means to say is that Ilfa, when he said that, he didn't mean to imply that being simply a kofar on a pikadon was not going to be made a gazlan. He was talking about something entirely different. He was talking about the din of Rabbi Yehuda Marav. That's what he was talking about when he said shvua kon. And as such, what Ilfa says about shvua kona really is totally irrelevant to Reb Sheshes, because it doesn't have to do anything with Reb Sheshes. It's directed at the statement of Reb Huna Marav. Maybe that's the kivun of the Gemara, and now the Gemara is going to go into what exactly is this din of Reb Huna Marav all about. And then if we understand what it is that din is about, we can understand what Ilfa meant when he said shvua kona, and therefore after that we can understand that what Ilfa said when he said shvua kona has nothing to do with Reb Sheshes. That's my hunch over here. Okay.
It seems to me, rereading Reb Sheshes does not make a distinction between a denial and an oath. He says he denies it and becomes a robber.
Right.
Whereas Ilfa seems to be saying it makes a difference.
Well,
he says a denial alone does not acquire.
Well, Reb Sheshes is he's saying a kofar. In other words, when we see kofar, when we see kofar b'pikadon, we understand that what that means is that he simply denied the possession of the pikadon was by him, as opposed to that he swore to that effect. Kofar means that he didn't swear. All he did was deny it. So
he's saying if he denies, then he becomes a robber, and Rev Ilfa is saying is if he denies without swearing, he does not become a robber.
Right. That's what we are understanding in the statement of Ilfa when he says Shvua Kona. We understand that he's talking about Rav Sheshis, and that he's saying no, only Shvua is going to be Kona this chayfetz, like a Gazan is Kona chayfetz, and really what we mean when we say Kinyani Gezela, that a Gazlan is Kona something, it really doesn't mean that he actually acquires it. It simply means that he acquires it to be totally responsible for it if anything happens to it, to the actual owner. But the point is that he said that Shvua is Kona, and we understand from that the kofar would not be Kona. So in other words, if we set it, but at this point, right, just from those two words that Ilfa said, Shvua Kona, we are interpreting, that he's talking about Rav Sheshis. But I think what the Gemora is going to say now, Iboy Sema, that no, Ilfa, when he said Shvua Kona, he wasn't talking about Rav Sheshis. He wasn't talking about the issue of Kinyoni Gezela, that it's put into his reshus as only at the time of that he makes a false shvua, but if he makes a false denial, then it's not put into his. He wasn't talking about that. The words shvua kona are very they're not so clear exactly what he's talking about at all. So the Gemara's Iboy Sema is that really Ilfa was not talking about Reb Sheshis's din. He was talking about Rav Huna Marav's din. That's the din he was talking about, and as such, what he said is irrelevant to Reb Sheshis. But I think that's the basic answer. The Bois Ema. What we don't understand is we don't understand this din of Rav Huna Marav, because we don't understand why this person is putter. What is he putter from? If he has the item, then he got to give it back. If the witnesses said that he did in fact receive a mana as a deposit from the depositor, why doesn't he have to give it back? So we're missing facts in this case over here of what this din is all about. So I think we're going to get to that right now in the Gufa. We'll understand better what exactly is this din of Rav Huna Marav, and then we'll apply the words of Ilfa to them, and then we'll see that Ilfa, what he said when he said Shvua Kona, has nothing to do with Rav Sheshis. And like that, the Gemara is going to answer that Ilfa's statement doesn't present any difficulty for Rav Sheshis. Okay.
But what about Hakanami? Hakanami is before Iboyas Ema.
Right.
It seems to be relating to Rab Ilfa's statement that it's saying Rav Ilfa is talking about a specific case where the object is in the swamp, and therefore he's not disagreeing with Rav Sheshis. Rav Sheshis would agree in that specific case, but he's saying in every other case, he does acquire.
Yeah, the answer is in other words assuming that what Ilfa meant when he said Shvua is Conan. He meant to be directing his statement to what Reb Sheshes was directing, what Reb Sheshes was talking about.
Right. So that's
And-
the
and-
Hakanami.
Yeah, fine. That's
Then when it says Boyas Ema, it's saying, or forget about that.
right.
It's not
Right.
it's not relevant to Rav Sheshes.
Right. The Iboy Seim is saying we don't even need to answer this answer that the Gemora is answering, because the whole statement of Ilfa doesn't even begin to present a difficulty for Reb Sheshes. The answer of Hakanami was saying on the side that you say that that Ilfa's statement was directed at Reb Sheshes, and he said no. He said Shvua Kanya, not a kofir is Kanya. Only a Shvua is Kanya. So even if we accept that is so, that's what Ilfa said, that's what he meant. Still, we can answer. We can still answer Ilfa's statement that it's still not arguing with Reb Sheshes, because we could say that he was talking about a case where he was kofir on an animal that was in the agam, and therefore he wasn't attempting to deny liability completely, and therefore he would not be regarded as a goslin.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, now, so we got 3 minutes left. Let's see how far we can get in this statement over here. The Gemara says Gufa. Gufa means we're going to go into this statement of Rav Huna Marav and see what it's all about. Alan, would you like to read? Alan?
We can't hear you, Alan.
I'm not saying anything right now. Moment, okay.
And we can hear you very softly now. No, we're not hearing you anymore.
Should be up there now, is it?
Good,
Yeah.
good.
You're better now. You're still a little soft, but I can understand you now.
It's
Yeah.
good. All right, keep it in. You know where we are?
Just about. Page 106A.
Yes. Right hand.
Gemara focuses on the statement.
Yes.
Okay. Gemara focuses on the statement of Rav just cited. Kufa. The text itself stated, Omar Rav Huna, Omar Rav. Huna said in the name of Rav, Mona, we, if one says to his fellow, a mana of mine is in your possession, Vahola Omer, Ain Lechor, Biyado Loom, and the other responds, you do not have anything in my possession, Benishba, and he swears to that effect, Edom, 18, and afterwards witnesses come and attest to his guilt, Putta is exempt from payment. Shamar, were stated, below Yishalem, and the owner shall accept it, and he shall not pay. Kinan, Shekibalu, Ba'alim, Shedor, Shuv, Ain, Mushala, Min, Woman. This teaches that once the owner has received an oath defendant no longer pays money.
So we still don't really understand this.
Does
Um,
when it teaches that once the owner has received an oath, defendant no longer pays
I understand that the claimant, he doesn't have any proof. He just has his own claim. He says you you've got you have you have a mana that belongs to me. So that's his claim. And the other one says no, I don't. And then he swears to it. And he swears what does he swear to? He swears I don't have a mana. I don't have your mana by me. And then witnesses come, and it's not really clear what it is that the witnesses are testifying to. What are they saying? Are they saying that we saw that A deposited a mana by B? Is that what they're testifying to? Or are they testifying that we know that we saw the mana? It's in the money in question is in his safe, in safekeeping in his house of Mr. B. So it's not clear at all what the witnesses are testifying to. Are they disproving it would seem that they're disproving the shvua of B, Mr. B, and if so. So then he swore falsely, and he really does have a mana in his possession that belongs to A. So if so, then I don't understand why it is he doesn't have to give it back to him. Who cares that he gave him a shvua? It was a false shvua, which was disproven. It was proven to be false by witnesses. Why doesn't he have to give it back? The whole din doesn't make any sense.
I think that what's going on is that this pasuk in the Torah is overriding the presumption that two witnesses are to be believed. It's saying in this case, where this particular sequence of events happened, we don't believe the witnesses.
Don't believe the witnesses.
We believe the defendant.
Yeah. Okay, let's say that that's so. Let's say that that's so. Let's say that that's so. The truth is that whatever it is, we see that we're seeing that Mr. B doesn't have to pay. So for whatever reason it is, maybe that's the reason. Maybe there's some other reason, but whatever it is, he's exempt. He's exempt. Now, this that we have in the Idbois Ema, that Ilfa, what he said, Shvua Kona, that's what Ilfa said. Now, according to Idbois Ema, the Gemora is saying that Ilfa, when he said Shvua Kona, he was talking about this din of Rav Huna Marav, meaning to say that when this Mr. B makes his shvua that he doesn't have the mana, for some reason, he's Kona. Meaning, we're not talking about, it doesn't seem like we're talking about anything that Reb Sheshes is talking about. In the case of Reb Sheshes, where the guy made a false shvua, and we believed the witnesses that came and refuted him. For some reason over here, I don't know, but it's not the same result, but it doesn't have anything to do with what according is perhaps explaining why it is that what's the basis for Rav Huna Marav's din. It's because with the shvua, the Mr. B has been kona the item, and that's all that he owes to Mr. A, and at that point he's good to go. And if so it's got nothing to do with what Rav Shesha said. And as such, the Gemara is presenting this as an alternative answer that when Ilfa said Shvukona, he didn't say anything which was contradicting what Rav Shesha said. And like that, we have an answer. Okay. So we're way out of time. We went over it, but I think that's the structure of the Gemara. Like we suspected initially. I should correct everybody. We'll let you go now. You're free to go. You're good to go.
Okay, thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you, Rabbi.
To all who be well. Thank you.
Have a good one, Roy.
Bye, Roy. Bye, Phil. Bye, Lou. Bye, Alan.
Thank you.